Ryan Mayer entering the 2017 season, Case Keenum was comfortably ensconced in the role that people expect of him, backup quarterback. Then, Vikings starter Sam Bradford injured his knee in the team's Week 1 game against the New Orleans Saints, and suddenly, Keenum found himself thrust into the starting lineup for the second time in as many years. That didn't bode well for the Vikings' hopes, considering Keenum had posted just a 915 record while completing only 58.4% of his passes with a 78.4 passer rating. After a rough first outing in a loss to the Steelers 20-37, 167 yards, Keenum has played like an entirely different quarterback than the one we've grown accustomed to seeing during his career. He's posted just 2 games in which his passer rating has been below the career mark since the Pittsburgh game, and in his last 4 outings, he's posted a rating of 100 or better while completing more than 70% of his passes. Is Keenum a long-term starter? Probably not based on track record. But he's fit well within the offensive game plan called by Pat Shurmur. The Vikings are 102, winners of 8 straight games, and things couldn't be better right now in Minnesota. No way we could lose. Locks of the week. As you can guess, these will be the stone-cold locks of the week. The games I'm so confident about that I'd wager my life savings on them, if I had a life savings to wager. Feeling pretty good, not quite willing to bet the farm on this batch, but as Mr. Larry David would say, I'm feeling pretty good about these games. Heads or tails, these are your true toss-ups. They can go one way or another, and you should pick with caution, even after heeding my expert advice. All lines courtesy of Sportsline. All times Eastern. Credit, Sean Gardner. Getty Images. New Orleans Saints at Atlanta Falcons 1.5, Thursday 8:25 p.m. Level of confidence. Heads or tails, toss-up. ATS straight up Falcons. This falls into the category of prototypical desperation game for the Falcons. Atlanta is in the 7th spot in the NFC, 1 game behind the Panthers and Seahawks for the wild card spots. If they lose this weekend, there's a better than decent chance that they could fall 2 games behind depending on the outcome of the Panthers game against the Vikings and the Seahawks game against Jacksonville. New Orleans has been lighting it up this season and their defense is more stout than previous years, but I think Matt Ryan and company keep their playoff hopes alive with a win in front of the home fans. No way we could lose. Locks of the week. Minnesota Vikings at Carolina Panthers 3, Sunday 1:00 p.m. ATS Panthers straight up Vikings. For all of the reasons mentioned in the opening paragraph, I think the Vikings win this game. The Panthers' offense has been inconsistent this year and the Vikings' defense isn't a unit you look to get yourself going against. Minnesota takes it and maintains pressure on Philly atop the NFC. Tennessee Titans at Arizona Cardinals 3, Sunday 4:05 p.m. ATS straight up Titans. The Cardinals have had a disappointing season and are down to their 3rd QB in Blaine Gabbert. That's good news for a Titans defense that has continued to improve as the year has gone along. Tennessee is actually one of the better units in the league on 3rd down, allowing opponents to convert just 36% of their chances. Arizona has converted just 38% of its 3rd downs on the year. The Titans take this one in the desert to stay atop the AFC South. Credit Andy Lyons. Getty Images. Baltimore Ravens at Pittsburgh Steelers 5, Sunday 8:30 p.m. ATS Ravens straight up Steelers. This AFC North divisional rivalry is usually fairly close. That wasn't the case earlier this season when the Steelers buried the Ravens 269 at Mount Bank Stadium. The reason I think that reverses course this time around is twofold. 1. A banged-up Antonio Brown. 2. A better Baltimore offense than we saw in Week 4. Not saying Joe Flacco pulls it out, but they should keep it closer than 1 score this time around. Feeling pretty good. Green Bay Packers at Cleveland Browns 3.5, Sunday 1:00 p.m. ATS straight up Packers. The Packers are just 1 week away now from getting their savior, QB Aaron Rodgers, back from his broken collarbone. Lucky for them, last week they got the Buccaneers at home, and this week they get the lowly Browns on the road. The Packers are in win now to stay alive in the playoffs mode, and I think Brett Hundley and company do enough to get the Pack the win in time for a Rodgers stretch run push for the playoffs. Credit John Breshop. Getty Images. Chicago Bears at Cincinnati Bengals 6, Sunday 1:00 p.m. ATS straight up Bengals. The Bears are still struggling to figure out the best way to utilize QB Mitch Trubisky, and I'm not sure they're going to find it with John Fox as head coach. Fox is an old-school, run-their-football and play defense coach, and he's not going to design up innovative new ways to play to Trubisky's strengths. This week, he faces a Bengals defense that ranks as one of the better units in the league and that could spell trouble for the rookie. Dallas Cowboys at New York Giants 4.5, Sunday 1:00 p.m. ATS Straight Up Cowboys. The Cowboys' offense exploded last week against the Redskins, thanks to some help from the defense. Dak Prescott and company still have a few games left before Ezekiel Elliott returns, but it was good to see a big performance from Alfred Morris in the running game in his stead. The Giants have been a tire fire, but they did just fire their head coach and GM and reinserted Eli Manning into the starting lineup, so there's potential for a show them what we're made of type game. Nonetheless, I think the Cowboys get it done at MetLife. Credit Harry Howe. Getty Images. Washington Redskins at Los Angeles Chargers 6, Sunday 4:05 p.m. ATS Redskins Straight Up Chargers. The Redskins' injuries have started to catch up to them, and there's only so much Kirk Cousins can do in trying to carry the offense surrounding him. After getting blasted by the Cowboys last Thursday, the Skins now face a Chargers team that is red-hot, having won 3 straight games and is now fighting for a playoff spot in the AFC. Despite the lack of home field advantage, Rivers and the Chargers get it done. New England Patriots at Miami Dolphins 11, Monday 8:30 p.m. ATS Dolphins Straight Up Patriots. Brady is without Gronk for this one as he serves his suspension for his after-the-whistle forearm shiver to the head of Bills DB Tre'Davious White. The Dolphins have also won 3 out of the last 4 games at home in Miami against the Patriots. Granted, the last time they met in Miami, the Patriots won 3,514. Heads or tails? Toss-up. Credit Dylan Buell. Getty Images. Detroit Lions at Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Sunday 1:00 p.m. ATS Straight Up Lions. The Buccaneers have been the biggest disappointment in the NFC this season. On paper prior to the season, this team looked like a legit playoff contender. Instead, they're languishing through another sub.500 year, and Jameis Winston hasn't made any significant strides forward. They could get lucky here if Lions QB Matt Stafford can't play due to the hand injury he sustained last week against the Ravens. If he sits, the Lions don't have much of a chance. If he plays, even at less than 100%, they should get the win. Oakland Raiders at Kansas City Chiefs 4, Sunday 1:00 p.m. ATS Straight Up Raiders. The Chiefs' offense woke up against the Jets, but, despite a 4-2 count performance that included multiple deep shots down the field from Alex Smith, they still lost 3,831. The defense is one of the worst in the league in yards allowed and is in the bottom half of the league in points allowed as well. The Raiders aren't much better defensively, but their offense has been getting going of late. This game's in Arrowhead, where the Chiefs haven't lost to Oakland since 2012, but I think that streak ends this week. Credit Logan Bowles. Getty Images. Indianapolis Colts at Buffalo Bills, Sunday 1:00 p.m. ATS Straight Up Colts. The Bills got some relatively good news after the 233 loss they suffered at the hands of the Patriots last Sunday. QB Tyrod Taylor, who was carted off the field with a knee injury, didn't sustain any ligament damage and instead was diagnosed with a bruised patella tendon. Taylor is questionable for this week though, which makes this game more difficult to decipher. With Taylor, the Bills likely win. Nathan Peterman. We saw how well that worked out against the Chargers. San Francisco 49ers at Houston Texans 3, Sunday 1:00 p.m. ATS Straight Up 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo showed some pretty good things in his debut as a starter for the Niners. He completed 70% of his passes for 293 yards and 1 interception. He showed pretty good chemistry with receivers Marquise Goodwin and Trent Taylor, but he did have the pick. The Texans' defense is solid, but it's been hurt by injuries. And, if it comes down to a battle between which QB, I believe in more Tom Savage or Garoppolo. I'll take Garoppolo. New York Jets at Denver Broncos 1, Sunday 4:05 p.m. ATS Straight Up Jets. The Broncos have lost 8 straight games since starting the season 31. The QB position is a mess, and the defense seems frustrated by the inability of the offense. The Jets have been shockingly competent this season for a team that many thought was trying to tank the season before the year. I'll take New York. Credit Christian Peterson. Getty Images. Philadelphia Eagles at Los Angeles Rams 2.5, Sunday 4:25 p.m. ATS. Straight up Eagles. The Eagles played poorly in Seattle on Sunday night, but that's no surprise. Many teams have fallen prey to the Seahawks in CenturyLink. It will be more interesting how Philly responds to the loss. The only other time they've lost this season, they needed a 61-yard field goal from Jake Elliott to beat the Giants. The Rams are still within striking distance of a first-round bye and potential home field advantage. Getting a win here would be a big step towards accomplishing the goal. The big advantage for me is the Eagles' pass rush against the Rams' offensive line. LA has given up 10 sacks in the last 4 games. Eagles take advantage to get back in the win column. Seattle Seahawks at Jacksonville Jaguars 3, Sunday 4:25 p.m. ATS. Straight up Jaguars. The Jaguars have the league's best pass defense and top pass rush, but they will be tested by the magician-like abilities of Russell Wilson. While Wilson was able to work his way around Philadelphia's ferocious pass rush, I think the Jags get to him here. Last week 871 Austrian shillings straight 115 overall 89,917 Austrian shillings straight 12,467.